G'day guys and welcome to your English Aussie. Today I've got the buy, sell, hold episode for you where we talk through who all the best defenders, midfielders and forwards are to buy, to sell and to hold for game week 29. This week we haven't included any holds or sells in our team. We are purely looking at who the best players are to be bringing in for this blank game week. We're going to try and keep this video as short as possible, as I know you guys have been really enjoying that lately. And I think the best way to do that is to show who you'd be looking to bring in at the moment. I think most teams are looking to sell anybody that's blanking in this game week to try and maximize their players for game week 29. If not, you're on a free hit and you'll be looking for who the best buys are anyway. So let's crack on and start with it. The first defender up on my tier 1 buy list is Milenkovic, Ola Aina, or Nico Williams of Nottingham Forest. I think all of the Nottingham Forest defenders are really good options for this game week. I don't think there are any better choices for you. And if it was me, I'd look to get multiple of their defenders in. They do have Ipswich away, followed by a really nice fixture run of Man United, Villa, Everton, Tottenham, Brentford, Palace, Leicester and West Ham all the way to game week 37. Nottingham Forest have been one of the most reliable defences in the Premier League, and Nikola Milenkovic actually has some of the best expected goals per 90 minutes for a defender in the league at the moment. I think he sits in third place for expected goals. So on both ends of the field there, I think Milenkovic is a fantastic option and someone that you should definitely look to get into your team for game week 29. Moving on to the tier 2 buy category, and first up here is Josko Gvardiol of Manchester City. I think he is excellent for attacking potential. He does also have fantastic expected goals, the best expected goals on this list for defenders. Manchester City also have a really nice run of fixtures, mainly after the Brighton game from game week 30. They play Leicester, Man United, Crystal Palace, Everton, Villa, Wolves and Southampton going towards game week 36. That's a really nice run of fixtures. Gvardiol looks like he could be primed for some attacking returns. Manchester City could potentially keep some clean sheets. They have been looking slightly better with Gonzalez into their team. That's why Gvardiol gets here on the list. Next up is Ryan Aït-Nouri of Wolves. He's on this list given the Wolves' fantastic fixture run. Over the next 6 games, they play Southampton, West Ham, Ipswich, Tottenham, Man United and Leicester, the 3 bottom teams in the league for goals scored, and in the league. In Southampton, Ipswich and Leicester, they play in the next 6 weeks. Aït-Nouri does have some good attacking threat as well for Wolves. So given that he does have that and they have such great fixtures, he does slide in there as the 3rd best option. Next up on the list is Milos Kerkez or Dean Huijsen for Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth have been in really fantastic form lately, and Milos Kerkez has been looking fantastic. He got a fantastic assist this week in the league. It was sort of an early cross, 40-yard outswinger to Tavernier for one of the Bournemouth goals. He's been really looking, really nice for some attacking potential, as is Huijsen, a great threat off set pieces. Bournemouth are probably one of the 2 best set piece teams in the Premier League this season. They also have a specialised set piece coach similar to Arsenal and have probably been the 2nd best set piece team, if not the best, this season for scoring goals from set pieces. And finally, a bit of a curveball in this tier 2 buy category is Aaron Wan-Bissaka of West Ham. West Ham do come up against Everton this week in game week 29 before Wolves, Bournemouth, a tough one against Liverpool and Southampton in game week 33. That could be a really nice fixture run. And with West Ham currently playing in like a 3-5-2 formation with Wan-Bissaka as a very attacking wing-back, there is really potential for him to get some attacking returns over this run. And we have also seen West Ham recently keep a clean sheet against Arsenal with a 1-0 win. So under Graham Potter, they do definitely have a little bit more potential for those clean sheets and returns. And I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka could be a really nice differential for you guys looking for somebody for the upcoming weeks. Next up into tier 3, and we do have Gabriel or Jurriën Timber of Arsenal. I do prefer Gabriel, given Ben White is now back from injury, and I do have some slight concerns about Timber potentially being rested or rotated with White for an odd fixture for Arsenal. Gabriel also does have more goal threat. He is a threat off set pieces and is somebody that I would be looking at for those sort of attacking return defenders, as he does have a 0.10 expected goals for Arsenal. Arsenal haven't quite been as defensively solid in previous weeks as they have been in previous years and earlier in the season. They also don't have the best fixture run over the next sort of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 game weeks, and therefore that's why Gabriel slides into tier 3. I do prefer the cheaper defenders, or potentially Guardiola if you are looking for a more attacking defender that costs more money. Next up in the tier 3 buy is Robinson and Castagna of Fulham. I think Fulham have some really difficult fixtures coming up, and that's why they're only in tier 3. Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool, Bournemouth and Chelsea in the next 5 games. And the only reason that Robinson gets on here is due to his attacking threat up that left-hand side. But for me, there are much better options that I would consider first. Next up on this list is Mykolenko. Similar to Robinson, he has a really tough run of games, but they do play West Ham in game week 29. So if you are looking at free hitting, or you're potentially looking to wildcard in game week 30, Mykolenko could be a nice option for a 1-week punt. They do then go on to play Liverpool, Arsenal, Forest, Man City and Chelsea in their next 5 games. So definitely somebody that I'd be looking to get out by game week 30. Moving on to the midfielders, and just a quick reminder, if you do enjoy this content, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's just a small thing for you guys, but it really makes a huge difference to my channel and really helps publicize it and YouTube push those videos out. Also, watching these videos to the end really helps, even if you just leave it on in the background. So please, I really appreciate you guys continuing to support this channel, and I won't waste too much more of your time, and we'll move on with the next tier 1 buy, which is Justin Kluivert of Bournemouth. I think he is one of, if not the best option this game week. Bournemouth have a really nice fixture against Brentford. As I was saying, I believe this game to be a fast-paced, high-energy transition game. I think Kluivert is so effective for Bournemouth in those transitions, pressing high for Bournemouth, trying to win the ball back. He is also their penalty taker and has been in really nice form for them recently. I think he could potentially be a captaincy option for game week 29. The other man in my tier 1 buy is Anthony Elanga of Nottingham Forest. I think Forest have one of the best fixtures for game week 29 against Ipswich away. Anthony Elanga has played in the second striker role alongside Chris Wood in the 3-5-2 for Nottingham Forest, and also in that high winger role in the 4-5-1 that they've played. He is a crucial part of the Nottingham Forest counter-attack, using his pace to get them up the field very quickly and to get on the end of those counter chances. He could be somebody that I really like if you're on a free hit in game week 29, and potentially even going forwards if you're wildcarding in 29 or 30 or 31, as Nottingham Forest's fixtures up until game week 37 are really fantastic. Into the tier 2 buy, and we do have Kaoru Mitoma of Brighton. He could potentially get into that tier 1 category. However, they are playing Manchester City this week. I think Mitoma's been in fantastic form from Brighton and is really effective in the sort of counter-attack transition moments for Brighton. This is where Man City were a lot more defensively susceptible in previous weeks, but with the introduction of Gonzalez into their defensive midfield, they have been a little bit more defensively solid in those moments. He has got be allowed to play a little bit deeper, stayed behind the ball, and given a bit more solidity and protection to Man City's defence. It has made a big difference to them defending in transition. I do still think Mitoma is a nice pick. I think Brighton have a fantastic fixture run after that, from game week 30 all the way to game week 36. Villa, Palace, Leicester, Brentford, West Ham, Newcastle and Wolves. Some really nice attacking fixtures in there for Mitoma, and I think he could be a pick on your wild card. Next up is Savinho of Manchester City. Similarly, I think Brighton have been in fantastic form. I think winning 5 or 6 of their last 6 game weeks, and up against Brighton is a more difficult fixture at the moment. City do have some really nice fixtures after that. Leicester United, Palace, Everton, Villa, Wolves and Southampton. So Savinho could be a good pick going forwards. He started the last 5 games for Manchester City and could be a really nice cut price option of getting into that Manchester City attack if you're not going for Erling Haaland. Next up on this list, Brian Mbeumo. He's on penalties for Brentford. A nice fixture against Bournemouth. We expect it to be a high-scoring game. Again, he's fantastic in transition and really works well for Brentford. And finally, up on the Tier 2 buy, we do have Morgan Gibbs-White of Nottingham Forest. Similar to Elanga, he's very good in transition encounter for Nottingham Forest. He has a lot of progressive carries with the ball up the field for Nottingham Forest, and someone who's really involved in their attacking play and does like to arrive late into the box to be on the end of the chances. And sorry, one more on this list is Cole Palmer. Despite the poor form, despite the difficult fixtures, he is someone that could haul or mega haul at any time. And if you are on a free hit, you likely aren't having Salah, who's blanking this week. It's worth having Palmer in that team just on the off chance that he does haul for Chelsea. Into the Tier 3 buy, we do have Jared Bowen up there. He, again, is somebody that I think has the potential to get big hauls. He's playing up front in that sort of 3-5-2 formation under Graham Potter for West Ham alongside Kudus. And is obviously always a threat for West Ham. They do have a nice fixture against Everton, and they do have the next 5 fixtures with Everton, Wolves, Bournemouth, then a tough one against Liverpool before Southampton in 33. We do have Bruno Fernandes on this list. Despite Manchester United's up and down form, he's been consistent in continuously picking up returns. He's someone that potentially you can look to rely on despite United's up and down fixture run and up and down form. He keeps scoring goals, keeps getting assists, and therefore finds his way onto the Tier 3 list. Alongside Phil Foden. Phil Foden is a bit of a risky pick up here, given his minutes at the moment are not solid, with Pep Roulette always coming into effect with Manchester City. Foden did start last week for City, but did miss the previous game. High risk, high reward strategy for me for Phil Foden. Pedro Neto is another one on the Tier 3 buy list. Chelsea obviously don't have a fantastic fixture run. They do have Arsenal in 29. Potentially looks to be a bit better from 30 onwards with Tottenham, Brentford and Ipswich. Neto has been playing in that false 9 role for Chelsea, so does make himself a nice option for Chelsea at 6.3 million. And Nkunku out on the left wing, I think a little bit less nice for me, but similar points as for Neto. Son Heung-min could be an interesting choice if you are on a free hit this week. Son's been in some good form for Spurs of late, who have, although struggled in the Champions League, have been in some reasonable form in the Premier League. Son Heung-min has been someone who has been on the end of some goals and assists for them, and could be somebody who has the potential for a mega haul. They are playing Fulham this week. And moving on to the forwards, one last reminder, if you haven't, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Just a really small thing, but it will really help my channel, and I would really appreciate it. So thank you very much if you can do that. The Tier 1 buys for the forwards, we do have Chris Wood, the GOAT of FPL. Need I say more? Great fixture against Ipswich. Fantastic fixtures going forwards. Potential captaincy option, and he is in your side. Evan Nilsson is a really nice option for Bournemouth. He has some really nice fixtures coming up. He should be the locked-in number 9 for Bournemouth going forwards, having come back from injury and immediately taken Dango's spot in that number 9 role. He looks in good form, picking up a goal in his last outing. Johan Wissa remains a fantastic striker option. Brentford with a nice fixture against Bournemouth. If you've got him, I'd look to hold him. 30, 31, 32. He does have some tricky fixtures with Newcastle, Chelsea and Arsenal. However, does remain someone top of the expected goals, as is this man, Erling Haaland of Manchester City. It's nice to see him back in the buy section. Manchester City, obviously, with some great fixtures coming up from 30 to 36. Haaland with 3 goals and 2 assists in his last 6 games. Is he somebody that's back? Can you afford him into your team? For me, I'd be looking at him on a wild card from game week 30, or if you're free hitting in game week 29, I wouldn't rip my team apart for him for game week 29. Given they do play Brighton, that is a tricky game, and it is worth saving your transfers. You can roll them through the free hit, the wild cards this year. You are able, if you wild card with 2 free transfers, to come out on the other side of a wild card still with 2-3 free transfers. They could be very valuable as you go through the season. Into the tier 2 buy, a really nice differential option is Beto of Everton. They do have a nice game week this week against West Ham, before going on a really difficult run of Liverpool, Arsenal, Forest, Man City and Chelsea. He could be nice if you're free hitting in game week 29 again, or if you're looking to wildcard in 30 and you can come out of him. João Pedro is next up on the tier 2 buy list. He's been in some nice form for Brighton of late. They do come up against Manchester City. However, they do have some really nice fixtures after that for the rest of the season. He is their talisman. He is on penalties, and that's why he finds himself in there. We do have Omar Mamouche. He is a bit of a risk here given the Pep roulette, and he didn't start last week for City. For me, he's probably not somebody that I'd look at as a striker option. Outside of his hat-trick, he hasn't managed any other returns for City, although tactically I think he's provides a lot for City going forwards and is very beneficial for Erling Haaland. Just not somebody that's at the top of my list at the moment. Same goes for Danny Welbeck, struggling for minutes for Brighton. Does look in really nice form, has been picking up returns, but being the minutes risk he is, just drops down into the tier 3 buy. Raul Jimenez of Fulham, for me, again, has been being rotated with Rodrigo Muniz. Fulham do also have probably one of the worst fixtures over the next 5 game weeks with Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool, Bournemouth and Chelsea. So is dropped down into tier 3. Thank you so much if you watched so far in the video. I really appreciate it. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hopefully we will hit 1,200 plus subscribers this week. We might already have hit that. I really appreciate every single one of you that watches my videos. Watching to the end really helps the algorithm as well. I will leave you there. Watch out for my tactical analysis video later in the week where I'll talk through the tactical analysis of the games from game week 28. And I will, of course, be doing a deadline stream where I will be doing live team reviews if you put your team ID in the chat, and I can talk through transfer plans, free hit teams, upcoming chip strategy, whatever you'd like for your own team. Hope you all have a good game week 28, what's left of it, a fantastic week ahead, and I'll see you guys soon for some more videos and for the game week 29 deadline stream. This has been your English Aussie. Have a great week, guys, and I will catch you later.